Welcome to the Court of the EDI Jester. How you doing, folks? It's another day in paradise, as they say. Right, so let's talk about media. Let's talk about media and the fact that it's gone mad in some cases. The media industry has gone mad in some cases. And by that I mean the madness of the BBC. Right? Who are now a bunch of diversity clowns. Look what they've done to the latest Agatha Christie. Look what they've done to Doctor Who. Right? I've got no problem with them changing people. However you want playing the detective, I don't care. What I care about is that you take one of Agatha Christie's stories and you make it about decolonisation, right? Or some other leftist woke crap, which is what the BBC are doing. That's what they did. And then you take Doctor Who and turn it into some LGBTQ plus nonsense queer fest, which is what you've done. That's the BBC, absolutely bloody useless on that front. But David Amber. So, you know, you've got this nut jobs on the BBC doing this sort of stuff. And then you've got, what do Channel 4 stand for anymore? Really, what do Channel 4 stand for anymore? Anybody know? What's on Channel 5? Channel 5 is like, you know, extreme cockling. Those types of programme, isn't it? And ITV, I don't know what ITV are doing. Although apparently there's a very good drama just started with not Toby Young, he's the FSU, Toby somebody, about the post office scandal. I think that will be worth watching, although I have no access to any of this. So may well be worth watching. But we've seen, for example, in newspapers, The Guardian is just, you know, wipe your bum with it, isn't it, really? Just wipe your bum with The Guardian. What nonsense. Woke cobblers. And then you get even further into the woke nonsense and you really start scraping the bottom of the barrel with Vox and Vice, and then what's that full-on red communist one called? Navarra, right? Okay, so you got, like, you know, that's how far the colonoscopy has to go to examine Navarra. How far are you? Well, he's gagging on it, right? That's Navarra. You doing all right there, love? Get that thing out of my backside, right? So yeah, when you put the colonoscopy of news, by the time you get to Navarro, you're practically at the bloke's throat, right? Okay? So that's how bad it gets. Now, the trouble is, you see, they don't like it up 'em. Right? They don't like it up 'em. And there's a particular news channel that's put it up 'em, and that is GB News. GB News, right? And they're fuming about it. Now, GB News reported recently that they've just had their first 1 million viewers in a day. 1 million viewers. They're growing at a rate of knots. So there's an article that's appeared by Robin Aitken in the Torygraph, which is entitled "Why GB News Has Its Left-Leaning Rivals Rattled and Running Scared." It begins. The upstart station has a loyal and growing audience, but a cabal of politicians, broadcasters and campaigners are determined to see it fall. The media establishment rather gave the game away back in September when BBC's Newsnight staged a typically smug, one-sided debate about GB News. Caroline Noakes, oh God help me from Caroline Noakes. You know, I know it's a very, I would quite happily put her in a catapult off the White Cliffs of Dover. I would, honest to God. There she goes! That's boing, you're out of here, you know? As I would, honest to God, Caroline Noakes. Nobody annoys me more. Caroline Noakes, the strangely leftish Tory MP for Romsey and Southampton North, and Adam Bolton, formerly the political oracle of Sky News, were of one mind. GB News should be closed down. They're running scared, aren't they? It's all puckered bum pieces right now with the rest of these lefties, right? Including Caroline Noakes. Get me the catapult. Right, okay. It should be shut down by Ofcom as soon as possible. The upstart station, Bolton claimed, was upsetting the delicate ecology of the British broadcasting scene. I mean, they really don't get it that they're done yet, do they? Look, for God's sake, I'm talking to you and people watch me talk nonsense. And people watch other channels as well. Look at the Trigonometry Boys. Look at the podcast of the Lotus Eaters, right? Look at all these new forms of media that are appearing. These people are literally have got their heads up their own backsides, haven't they? Mrs. Noakes, speaking as the chair of the Commons Women's and Equality Select... How can that be? How can Noakes be chair of the Commons Women's and Equality Select Committee when you don't know what a bloody woman is? Said that GB News hardly mattered because of its tiny audience. What, 1 million? That tiny audience. 1 million people. Okay. But notwithstanding its supposed insignificance, it should be taken off air, she said. GB News' offence was a decidedly off-colour remark made by one of its presenters, the actor-turned-politician Lawrence Fox, about a female journalist. Fox remarked to his smirking co-presenter, "Show me a single self-respecting man who would like to climb into bed with that woman ever. Who would want to shag that?" Right, Lawrence, really? It was the kind thing callow schoolboys say, crass and boorish. An insult better left unspoken, let alone broadcast to the nation. But it was an offence so serious it warranted stripping GB News of its licence to broadcast. That's what Noakes was saying. The only previous victim of Ofcom's ultimate sanction in recent years was Russia Today, which lost its licence in March 2022 for blatant propagandist bias in its coverage of Putin's invasion of Ukraine. Did Fox's quip come anywhere near that level of offence? Most fair-minded people would say not, and if it deserved the maximum punishment, what about the transgressions of other stations? Should the BBC have been shut down because of Jimmy Savile's crimes? In truth, if Ofcom had set the bar that low, would any broadcaster be left at all? In any event, GB News took preemptive action and Fox was sacked to placate its critics, of whom there are many, because GB News does not lack for enemies, and while the pressure they are heaping on the station is uncomfortable, it's also a backhanded compliment. GB News has its rivals rattled. The anguished pleas of Noakes and Bolton to close down GB News betrays the deep nervousness in liberal circles about the success of a station. Oh, it can only be a circle, couldn't it? The liberal ass pipe, right? About the success of a station that they passionately hoped would fail. After a much-mocked error-strewn launch in 2021, the channel is making solid gains in all the traditional categories of viewing and listening. GB News output is also available, by the way, as a radio service. Whilst growth in its online news website has been explosive, in the past year traffic on the site has grown by nearly 600%. Company insiders boast that its website has now registered more than 1 billion views, a figure that ITN's website took 11 years to reach. Not bad for a station that is only 2.5 years old. Right, there's more to it. Go and read it. Right, it's a good article. How fabulous. Yep. So Noakes and her cronies are on the... Noakes, you liberal wastrel. They're on, they're getting it. Oh, I can't stand her. I don't know why. Well, no, I do know why. She's mad. There's a box of frogs. What's she doing in the Conservative Party? Why don't they kick her out? Because you can do that, can't you? If you're the leader of the Conservative Party, you can go, "Hey, Noakes, that's enough of you. Off you go." Why don't they kick her out? "Caroline, what are you doing tomorrow?" "Well, I thought I'd talk to..." "No, you're not. Pack your bags." Why am I... No, you're being fired. Why? Because we need to get rid of you. Why do you want to get rid of me? There's a catapult waiting at Dover. Oh, God. Go on, GB News. More power to your bloody elbow. And then we can teach these few people a thing or two about reality. I'll see you later. Have fun. Bye.